Hey everybody. Let's talk about how to tell where a fraction is on a number line just by using estimation. Yesterday we looked at some actual number lines and talked about how many pieces and parts. But today we're just going to try and do estimation, right? Which is a lot of fun because you can do it quickly. So this is what I usually like to do. Think about if you have three fractions. And I'm going to draw these three fractions as three people, right? So here's one person and they're a student here at Mercer, and here's another person, and they're a student here at Mercer, and then here's another person who is a teacher here at Mercer. In fact, they've been a teacher here for so long, they're really old. There's their beard and their hair, and they even use a cane, right? There's all kinds of things that indicate to you that they're a very old person. And if I asked you to put them in order from age, from youngest to oldest, well, that would be easy. This red person here is the oldest, right? We could say that person is old, and they're going to go over here. They're the oldest. But what about the other two, right? They're both students. They're both in 6th grade. They're both about the same height. Can you tell which one is the oldest? And the answer is no, right? For these two, you can't really tell. You might have to do a little extra work. And it's the same with fractions. So for example here, I'm going to say you have a fraction that is let's just even make it more complicated. We say it is 4/10. And you have another fraction that is 2/5. And then you have this other fraction that is 7/8. What I would say to you is that you should be able to tell that this fraction is the biggest fraction just by looking at it. And that's what we want to talk about today, right? So here's the trick. You just need to think about the following question. What is half? What is half, right? So remember, the bottom number of a fraction is the what we're counting. It's the little things, it's the pieces, right? So if I have 10 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and let's say someone steals 4 of them, right? They take this many away. Did they take away more than half of my things or less than half of my things? And the question is, well, what's half of my things? Well, if you have 10 things, half of them would be 5. You just divide it in 2. So in this case, they stole less than half. They only stole 4 things, less than half. Okay? And the same thing with the blue. Right? Let's take a look at this fraction. If you have 5 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and somebody steals 2 of them, well, you have 3 left. You have more than half. And a lot of people say, well, 5 can't be divided in half, Mr. Meyer, right? So how can I figure out what's half? Well, it can be divided in half. Here's what's half of 5. You take 5 and you divide it by 2, right? And you know how to do this. You can take 2 groups of 2 out of 5, and it is 4, and you have a remainder of 1/2. So there you go. That is half of 5. Now, did these people steal right here? Did these people steal less than 2.5 of your things? Of your cookies or your money or whatever it is? No. Or, yes, they did. They only stole 2. 2 is less than 2.5. It is less than half. And you can also tell because you have 3 left, right? You have 3 things left. So they stole less than half of your things. So this is also less than half. But this guy over here in red, he is more than half, right? And we should be able to tell that he's more than half. Because this guy has 8 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And somebody stole 7 of them. That is way more than half, right? So he is more than half. Oops, it's pretty sloppy writing here. Let me try it again. He has more than half. More. So we should be able to tell by looking which one of these is bigger. This is bigger than the other 2. Okay? So that's what we mean by estimating, just being able to pick out the one that's more than half. All right? And these other 2 we can try and figure out later. We have some other strategies for figuring out which of these 2 numbers is bigger than the other, but right now estimating is just going to pick out one of them. All right, let's try another one here. Let's make up a couple more fractions here. I'll make up a red one, and I'm going to change my blue pen so it's a little lighter. It shows up a little better. Okay, so let's say we have a fraction like 2/6. We have another fraction that's 5/8, and we have another fraction that's I don't know, 7/14, something really scary, right? And then we're going to use our estimation. We can sort these out. 2 out of 6, well, half. If I had 6 things, half of that would be 3. So this is less than half, right? No drawings required. Let me fix this here so we can see it. That's less than half. 5/8, right? Half of 8 would be 4 things, and this person has 5 things, so this is more than half, right? More than half. And 7 out of 14, well, if I had 14 things, half of them would be, what's half of 14? Oh, it's 7. 14 divided by 2, that's 7. This is half, right? It is half. So we can now kind of figure out what's the smallest one. The smallest one would be 2/6. Let me try and get my pen straightened out here. The smallest one would be 2/6. The biggest one, the one that's more than half, would be 5/8. And the one that's in the middle is the one that's, exactly half. Right? And this one just happened to be exactly half, so it was easy to figure out. Now they're in order from least to greatest, right? This is the biggest one because it's more than half. This is the smallest one because it's less than half. And this one is right in the middle. Okay? So sometimes doing these problems is just that simple. Sometimes you get lucky and all 3 of them are really clear. And sometimes it's a little harder to figure out. And we'll do that in another video.